Hey, these are the results of Valleycon New Zealand. Let me get them for you. Here we go. So, the event itself was 1,000 points, 18 order dice cap, very light comp, so slight changes to what you could or could not do. Rulebook missions with a lot of common sense applied. 3 games, 16 players. Best painted was Michael, and Aiden took best sportsman. And the top 3 killers were Hayden, Brad, and Kieran, who had killed. And in New Zealand, apparently they capped the points for and not the kill dice, which makes it a little bit of a mathy problem. But it's nice to see what they actually like. It creates a huge difference, right? And the top 3 losers was also Kieran, by the way, who lost a lot of his armies. Jamie and John Fletcher, who, by the way, sent me a lot of this info. Here we have one of the tables from Valleycon, which is a really nice table. One of the things I will say about this tournament is I do have a little bit of issue with some of the tables. And I'll explain why. It's not that it's a problem, it's just it does something, and I'll explain what I think. But this one was a very nice looking table. So the result was that Hayden took first place with his German mechanized / camping force. Dale took second place with his 14 order dice German and mech and armor. David with his 17 order dice Finns, gunline and sissies took third place. Heath with his French battle snails, 18 order dice, took fourth, and fifth was Aiden with his leaf blower Brits. My predictions was that Brad with a bow special would have taken top positions. He didn't. He came 7th. Heath and Dale I had predicted, and then Kieran with an Achilles special, so all the comsomolets and all that, would have also placed top. And he didn't. He came 13th. And then I have a few words about those. I think there are explanations for why that happened. But basically, you can see the win, draw, loss score here. No one went undefeated. You do have a couple of people who went undefeated, but no one was on 5 wins, not 5 games, not 3. Sorry. So even Hayden had a draw, which that can happen. And John had a very rough weekend with 3 losses and 2 draws. But I think John was actually playing as the ringer, so that is basically what you want. You want to lose as the ringer, right? My main takeaways: mechanized is king. And gunline camping is queen, and I think there's a reason for it, because I think the many of the tables. This is another example of a table from Valleycon. Many of the tables are very light on line of sight blockers, especially. This one did have some, but not enough to hide behind. So if you had long range firepower, if you had LMGs, if you had artillery, you could sit back in your deployment zone and just blast the enemy. And that is what happens when you have very open tables. I experienced the same at the WTC. When you're on an open table, if you have long range firepower, you're very likely to win. So I think in order to balance that, we need to balance the right amount of terrain on the tables, and potentially the guys who run Valleycon need to potentially put more terrain on their tables or push it in towards the center, at least the line of sight blockers. I also think that I'm only approximately 50% accurate on guessing lists, so I was pretty happy that I picked out 2 lists that actually was in the top 5. I didn't pick out the winning list though. So and I think my main issue is with balanced lists. I am not really at a point yet where I can predict how good they are. I'm still working through that for version 3. I think I lean too much towards specialized lists, which is what I play myself. And I think potentially for V3 specialized lists need a lot more training than a lot of people have given them. So you can't just pick out, you can't just net list something that one player is really good with and think you can do well. I think potentially you need to balance your list a lot more, especially if you're a new player. So pick a little bit of everything and get good at the game before you go specialized lists. Right, those were my main takeaways. Thank you so much, David, Ban, and John Fletcher, for sending me the results. And yeah, it was nice to cover something from New Zealand for a change. Thank you all who attended. I hope you had a great weekend. Cheers.